Okay, well, it says that I'm live, so I want to welcome everybody. You know, I wanted to start this show with a like very professional opening, like "Welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Psychic Cheryl Lynn." And today's topic is. But every time I want to start the show or the live stream like that, it's always I think I'm live. I don't know where I'm at. So I guess that's the opening of my show. I think I'm live. I'm here. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody. This is me. Hi, Devin. Um, like I said, it is Spiritually Speaking with me, Cheryl Lynn. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about, hi, Latoya and Beverly. Hello. Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying in queue and coming and joining me live. I do appreciate Circa and Jonathan, all of you. Thank you very much. Beverly, thank you. Um, okay, so today we are going to be talking about something that I had to put it out there, people, because I've been doing readings and being with people for, many, many years. And it's all the same. When I do my readings, and I cannot speak for other psychics, but I'm sure they get this as well. And it doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter. My title today is "But I Love Him." Okay, so that's the first part we're going to be talking about. This is what I've been hearing through my whole career as a psychic. But I love him, and it could be also, but I love her. Okay, and then the second part we're going to talk about is emotional vampires and how all of you can get rid of the emotional. All of you right now, the ones that are listening to me right now, the ones that will view this later on, you are hooked up. You are hooked up with all kinds of tubes from all kinds of people in your past, and now it's time for you to cut the cords on that. And we will talk about that. And once you do that, you're going to feel so much better. Okay, before I get started, hi, Carmen and Nina and Brianne, and happy Mother's Day to you too. Okay, now, for those of you that do have my book, okay, those of you that do have my book, um, you're ready to hear these messages and to take it to the next level because the ego, the physical world, the lower negative energies in the physical world, boy does boy does it have like a chokehold on people about love relationships, and feeling guilty, which is the lower vibrations, feeling guilty about loving yourself first, putting yourself first. It would prefer that you hide your energy in somebody else. Basically, that's what you're doing. Um, so I want to make you aware of that. So those of you that do have my book, we already talked about ego and free will and taking your energies and rising it up past the ego, using Archangel Michael to cut away all the negativity and raise up your vibrations, getting into God and getting into the positive, getting into joy, getting into the here and the now. Okay. So those of you that have my book, you've already read that, and you could, of course, you're basically on your journey with God. Those of you that've already read the book, you're on your journey with God. So this is going to be the next step. This, but I love him, and the emotional vampires. Those of you that don't have my book, I will have a link on the bottom. You will really need to read this first about. You need to start where you're working with God, because the ego is going to have a field day with all of you about love relationships and fear about, hey, I'm going to be alone. Nobody's going to love me. I'm going to hang on to that alcoholic. I'm going to hang on to that drug addict. I'm going to hang on. I'm going to hang on because nobody else is going to love me, because that's what the ego is going to tell you, and you need to learn to love yourself. Okay. So, I will be referring to this book as far as, like I said, taking the next step, everybody. All right. Okay. And again, at the bottom of this live stream, I'll put the post on how you can get the book. I will let all of you know that I thank all of you very, very much. It may be sold out on Amazon. It may be sold out. I've had a lot of temporarily out of stock. Everybody's been getting the book with the copy and paste. I do Amazon. But if you go to my website, which is whiterose-productions.com, you're going to see the book. You're going to see a link to Barnes & Noble. Not many people buy the book on Barnes and Noble. You can get it there, or you can go on the wait list with Amazon. All right, okay. Now, but I love him. Well, he's a chronic alcoholic. He's beating you. He's beating your children. What are you staying for? But I love him. She's out at the ballroom. She's cheating on you. She slept with your friends. You got children at home. What are you doing? But I love her. I've heard it over and over again, and it does not matter if you are. I've had clients all the way from teen all the way up until they're 70, 80 years old. And this runs the gamut. And it breaks my heart, everybody, when I do readings for people. And I'm just giving an example. I see, a 68-year-old woman who's hung on to a man that she hates, that's angry. Did he cheat on me? Is he out? And the whole life is gone. When she could have been loving herself, living for herself, working her truth, instead of putting all her anger, in this man, on this man. That there's no connection there. And I have my dog, so please excuse me. I have a dog, so I will excuse me. Anyway, and I hear this. That's just an example. I hear it over and over again. It saddens me because we're supposed to love ourselves. You're supposed to love you first. I love me first. When you put all your energy on somebody else, what you're doing is it's a control thing. And you are doing avoidance. You are avoiding you. You're avoiding your life path. You're avoiding you. You're putting all your energy onto that other person, whatever that other person's problem is. And even when you're in a nice relationship, a good relationship, a spiritual partnership, which we'll talk about, when you're in one, even when you're in one of those, it's you first, putting your energy and your life first. Always love first. God put you first. You put you first. Love you first. I don't. The ego is going to say, "How selfish are you to want to love yourself and to have put yourself on the back burner? How dare you, love yourself first?" When we're supposed to be here and you're supposed to help this alcoholic that doesn't want to help himself. That's miserable. Does that make sense? Absolutely not. But the ego, and I'm telling you, people, it frustrates me when I see the 65-year-old, the 70-year-old, and it's horrible. And they're going to cross to the other side, and they could have been this, they could have been that. So all of you out there, love yourself first. Take your energy off these people. Everybody's got their own individual case. Whether it's, somebody's an alcoholic, somebody's a drug addict, somebody's a cheater. If somebody's a cheater, you give it to God. That's a sex addiction. Sex addiction, when we get into emotional vampires, that's a big thing. They love that. They love to hook onto the sex addicts. All that's their own personal energy, their own personal choice. That's not yours. And you're not supposed to be putting your energy on them. And I don't care, what your childhood was like, because you're supposed to be living the opposite life of what the childhood was. If you had an abusive, alcoholic mother, you're not to be that. You're supposed to be a loving mother with no alcohol. You should have learned. Okay? And you have to realize addictions in any form, even cigarettes, addictions in any form can lower the energies. That's where, the fear and the fear-based thinking comes in. And you can rise above that fear. And I hear it like I said, I hear it time and time again. I say to them, because I can see it in the cards. I can see it, psychically. I can see what path they're going down. They're in such fear. They're in such fear that nobody's ever going to love them. They're in such fear that they're going to be abandoned, that they're going to hold on to whoever they got to hold on to. And this person's angry. This person, you realize that, especially like if you're married to somebody, that's a big tube that you're hooked into that person. And that person's negativity, that person's addiction, that person's anger, that person's demons attached to you. All that attaches to you. That's why you feel tired. That's why you feel down. That's why you feel frustrated. You used to be positive until this person came along in your life. Now, it's not just marriage. Of course, it's not just marriage. It's any relationship that you're in with anybody. All right? You've got to love yourself first. Please don't waste your life. I just, because when you get to the other side, you're going to see, when you get into your life review, it's like, oh, now do I have a choice coming back to karma? Do I come back now to this lifetime and be with this same person again and try to work all this out? Do you want to do that? Of course not. The key is to love God and to love yourself. What's right for you? What's your truth? Speak your truth. Okay, speaking your truth. That's in this book. Speak your truth. What is it? What is it that you would truly love to do? What would you love to do? I would love to be a nurse. I would love to go to nursing school. But I have to deal with this alcoholic. I got to deal with this cheater. I got to deal with this person. So now I'm not going to go to school. And I'm miserable and the kids are miserable. But, why don't you leave them? Why don't you go to school? That's great. But I love him. I love him. Yeah. Love yourself. Love yourself. I want all of you to really look at your relationships. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. What is it that you want to do? And you pursue your life. And have no fears and have no worries about where your life is headed. Give it all to God. Like I have in the book here. Rise up past the ego. Get out of there. Get into God. Get into joy. Get into the here and the now. You learned your lesson from the past, and now you move on. Okay? All of you have great hearts. All of you, we want to help. We want to heal. We want to cure. And we put our energy on that person. I can help that person. I can heal that person. I can cure that person. No, you can't. Nope. Give them to God. Send love and light unto them. And they may have their moment with God. And that has happened. And that's wonderful. But you don't need to be around it when that happens, when they hit bottom. And I know that there's just so many people that hang on and hang on and hang on. So, I mean, that's just like one example. But I'm just telling everybody, I get it all the time. I get it all the time. And I want you all to start concentrating on you and giving it to God. Giving it all to God about that person. Because what you're doing is you're hiding your energy. This is how I'll say the devil, but I don't like, the negative energy, the demons that are around. But this is how the devil hides your energy. So it lowers your energy. And then, man, you're trapped here on this earth in the physical. Do you want to be at this time with the pandemic? And you want to be in the physical? Mm-mm. Nope. Get into the spiritual with God, because love is the highest power. That's what God is. Love is pure love. Pure love on yourself. Me first. Me first, and then others will follow. And doing what you want to do. Get on. Just for the example that I gave, get into that nursing school. Look online. Get into that nursing school. Don't listen to the ego saying you're too old. Nobody wants you. Whatever. You can do it. God, please send unto me the abundance I need to get into nursing school and to pursue your dream and to cut the ties. And we're going to talk about how to cut these ties from other people. But you got to realize something. When you are in a relationship with somebody, a physical relationship with somebody, a marriage with somebody, you are connected. And sometimes you got to cut the cord. All right? Now, and yeah, I see Latoya there. Self-love is the best love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Put the energy and love on yourself. Don't hide your energy because you're afraid of facing your past, facing your demons, facing what you need to face. You're frightened, so you put it into somebody else. And guess what? They always disappoint you. They're always disappointing. Any kind of energy you put into somebody, and even in a spiritual partnership, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, you're still your own individual person. They're their own individual person. But the energy is kindness. That's the energy in a spiritual partnership. Anything else in any kind of partnership in your life that doesn't have kindness, that's not the right relationship. And you really need to give it to God and to cut the ties with that person and to start going, loving yourself. All right. So what we had just talked about, like right now, And this applies to, and I have clients, this applies to if you're heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual. It does not matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter with God. Love is love. And I have clients that run the gamut, and the energy is the same. The whole thing is the same. Especially now, in the homosexual community, you're married. Marriage came and it was a great thing, but you're hooked in a marriage, and the energies are intense. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Please never say to yourself again, "But I love him," "But I love her." Make an excuse like that. If you're gonna love somebody, you love yourself. Okay. Now, of course, when you're together with somebody, there's problems that are along the way. I understand that. And there's therapists, there's people that can help, that you can talk, especially if you're in a long-term marriage, a long-term relationship. But as long as there's not the destructive energy around it, then move forward. Not the anger, not the destruction, not the destructive energy towards yourself. I love me first, and then you would put your boundaries up with your partner and say, these are my boundaries with you. I love me first. I will be going to nursing school, and I will go to an AA meeting with you, and I give you so much time, but these are my boundaries. If you cross my boundaries, that's it. And you love yourself enough to walk away. Okay? You have to love yourself, again, putting up boundaries with certain people. But listen, if the handwriting is on the wall, and I don't care how many years you've been with somebody, it could be 2 days, it could be 40 years, it doesn't matter. Loving yourself, I'm telling you, it is sad. Some of these people at the end of their lives, when I start, you know, when I started out, like many years ago, and I used to have people come into my home, many years ago, doing like readings. Like one woman would come in, and she was 80 some years old, and she was married to her husband for 60 years, and she thought that he was cheating on her, and she wanted to argue with him, like on the other side. She kept that anger, so she sat there so angry. This is her whole life. This is her whole life. Instead of confronting the husband all those years ago, loving herself and saying, "Listen, I my boundaries are that this is this is not an open marriage. This is not an open relationship, and I don't want to be with a cheater." And she would have saved herself all. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, she came in, like I said, this is years ago. But this woman was literally, I'm sure some psychics out there can tell the same stories. She just wanted to argue with her husband. She just wanted to know. She was so angry, but she avoided her childhood. And when we started looking into her childhood, man, she shut that energy right up. She didn't want to talk about her abusive father and the abuse in her life. She didn't want to talk about that. So she put all that energy on this dead husband. And to be honest with you, people, he was happy to go, to be away from her. I couldn't believe. I mean, that one's just come sticking in my head right now. Never say, "But I love him," "But I love her," to make an excuse. To be, "Oh yeah, I love him, I love her. We have a great relationship, or we're kind to each other, or we support each other." That's what love is. Now, I understand that, the human brain, we are humans. When we're in our teens and in our 20s, we are searching we want to be partnered up. That's just how we're chemically based. The physical, human world. You want to be partnered up. This is just oh, you should hear some of the people. No one's ever going to love me. I got to partner up. But that's part of being a human being. I get that. Once you hit kind of 30, after 25, the human brain matures. And then when you get into your 30s, it's like, okay, I married this one. Uh-oh. You kind of like wake up, a little bit. But I understand that part. But that's no excuse. Have the information when you're dating people. Is this person kind? I want to, God, please send unto me a soul partner. Please send unto me somebody like that. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what that is. And God will. Doesn't matter what your age is. Please send unto me a spiritual partnership, a soul partner, a spiritual partnership. So everybody, please pay attention. This is what a spiritual partnership is. God, please send unto me a spiritual partnership. I am manifesting right now through Jesus Christ, through the blood of the Lamb, a spiritual partnership for myself. First of all, a spiritual partnership is this, and it does not matter what your age is. Please save yourself the trouble, okay? Because we're going to get into emotional vampires and how these people hook onto you. Okay. Please send unto me a spiritual partnership. A spiritual partnership is this. First of all, you have to have closure, and he has to have closure, or she. Okay? You have to have closure, and they have to have closure. You can't be married to somebody. You can't have a girlfriend, boyfriend. You can't have somebody on the side. Okay? And they have to have closure. They can't be married. They can't be separated. They can't be living with the baby mama. They've got to. They can have. They can be married. They can be divorced, but they have to have closure with that person. You have to have closure. They have to have closure. Anything else? Now you're bringing in the karma, man. The emotional vampires are going to suck on you. Trust me. You have closure. They have closure. Then you're two people equally yoked, walking down life's path together, equally yoked. Now, when think of like two oxen, like equally yoked, walking down the life's path together, equally yoked, emotionally, financially, spiritually, life path wise. You're your own individual person. They're their own individual person. You're your own individual person. They're their own individual person. But you're walking down the path together, and kindness is the energy. That's the energy of a spiritual partnership. And God will send unto you a spiritual partner. Anything else is not right. And you notice, people, I didn't say, and marry this person. We were lied to. I'm 57. And my generation, and I still get people my age, and it drives me crazy. I hope my daughter marries. Well, the daughter's doing great. The daughter is, in a business, and she's happy, and she'll marry down the line. What are you worried about? Okay? Spiritual partnership doesn't mean physical marriage. Anything in the physical world, people, they do not work. It does not work. Nothing in the physical world works. Physical world marriages, physical world relationships do not work. You want a spiritual partnership, nothing less, because you love yourself. I love me. And it does not matter. I understand, a teenager, 20 years old, you're looking for this one, you're looking for that one, you're scrambling. Love's in bloom. I get it. I was back there too. But why go through it? Why hang on and cling on to somebody who's it doesn't want you, who's playing video games and he's living with his mom? And no, love yourself. Love yourself first. Dear God, please send unto me a spiritual partnership. I deserve nothing less. Okay? Like I said, those of you that have my book, you know what I'm talking about as far as, about the ego and free will and how to raise up the vibrations. A lot of you are living now up in that spiritual. Now it's time for you to up your game. Okay? I love me. I care about me. All right? So really, all of you, think about it. You are all worth it. Okay? I had to say something because it's just people holding on to it, and they think they're doing a favor for children. You're not. The children are messed up. The children are messed up. The anger, man, oh man, the demons have a field day. You think they don't hook onto your kids? They do. Then why are you seeing black shadows? Because you're bringing all that energy in, that negative, nasty energy. All right? So, any of you out there, if you're saying, but I love him, but I love her, no. Time to move on. This message is for you. Those of you that are in a fantastic relationship, Those of you that are in a spiritual partnership, those of you that are in a good relationship with somebody, hang on to them. Hang on to them and walk down the path. There's nothing better. Now, of course, the physical world's going to say, hey, there could be somebody better than this person. No, if you got a spiritual partner and you're happy, stick with it. Okay? It's just that I have so many clients for so many years, and it's the same thing. Holding on to this person, they don't want to face their past. They don't want to face what they had to face. But God wants you to face what you need to face and to work out your karma here before you get to the other side. Because you're going to loop back down and get back with that person. Why? Why? I love all of you so much. I want you to love yourself. And God loves you. And I'm telling all of you, when you put it in God's hands and you start down this path, yes, it's fearful. I get it. Because it goes against everything that the physical world says. Things are going to work out a lot better because you're going to find your strength in you. Okay? And here's another thing. When you get into spiritual partnership, you don't have to sit in the bar room all dolled up trying to find somebody. You don't have to go online. Those of you that, I'm 57, we don't, but, that's what, my clients, the younger ones, swiping this one, that one, searching. Every spiritual partnership I've ever, listen to this, every spiritual partnership I've ever seen in my readings is somebody that God brings to them. That you don't have to put on the high heels and try to look for somebody. Or go online and look at dating sites or whatever you guys do. In my day, you had to meet people. You had to go to dances. You had to meet people. We weren't swiping, that's for sure. We didn't even have phones back then, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, God will bring the person to you. It is always somebody that you meet at an event, or it's a cousin of somebody's, or every spiritual partnership, every reading I have ever done with that. And again, it's mostly with the people that are younger. I get that. Those of us that are in long-term relationships, it's a different level. Okay? But even if you're divorced from somebody and you're looking to bring somebody else into your life, God, please send unto me a spiritual partnership. And I'm not saying marriage. Physical world marriage doesn't work. If you're married, that's great. If you don't, that's great. It doesn't matter. Okay? And again, this goes for everybody. This goes for heterosexual, homosexual, and bisexual relationships. Okay? All right. Never again. Never again. But I love him. But I love her. Never again, people. I love me. There's no excuses. Okay. So I hope everybody understands that. Now, I want to get into the second part of this, which is emotional vampires. This is another thing, and again, I can't speak for all psychics out there, but when we see people, when we read people, when we have psychic images of people, some of us can see the tubes that are attached to people. Especially when I'm doing readings, and they've got this attachment, that attachment, and I'm going to explain in a minute what I'm talking about. Back when they were 12 years old, this attachment, that attachment, they're dragging it on and they're 60 years old, or they're my age, they're 57, they're dragging it on, through middle age, all these attachments. First of all, any attachment, any person that you've ever been involved with in your life, especially on a sexual level, one night stands, boyfriend, girlfriends, in high school or middle school, the crush that you had on somebody who didn't love you, any relationship that you've ever had with anybody. Okay, it doesn't have to be sexual. Sexual brings it up to a next level. But any relationship that you've ever had with any, you've the girl in the office that doesn't like you, that talks about you, that gossips about you. Anything like that in your whole life. What happens is, I want all of you to imagine this. You are psychically connected to somebody. You're psychically bonded to somebody. And it doesn't matter what your age is now. It could be when you were 5 years old. So you've got to cut away all these cords. We're going to talk about it in a minute. So what I want you to do is imagine this. When somebody at work gossips about you, or somebody at work is trying to hurt you, somebody at work is trying to take your job, I'm just using an example. What they do is they put what we call a psychic attack on you. So basically what happens is this. Those of you that get IV, okay, this is the best way I can describe it. When you get IV, you see that clear tube, that thin clear tube that comes out of the IV and it puts the medicine, okay, in your body, okay, through the needle. But that clear tube, that's what attaches, that clear tube attaches onto you. And that person sucks on your energy and makes you fearful, makes you tired, makes you angry, gives you nightmares because you are hooked in to that person's energy, that person's hatred of you. Because and you realize when they hate you, they actually hate themselves. You know, they all that negativity feeds into you. They suck you dry. Why do I have migraines? Why am I can't function in life. I can't think in life. I have foggy heads. I can't sleep. I can't sleep at night. Okay? Now imagine everybody, billions of them hooked onto you. From the time you were little on. From the time you were little on. You're hooked on to that alcoholic father that never loved you. You're hooked on to the preacher that molested you. You're hooked on to kids that were talking about you when you were little because you didn't fit into a group. You're hooked on to past lovers that cheated on you and everybody, everything. And when I do readings with people, they are so like, why am I tired? Why can't I think? Why can't I function? Why can't I move on in my life? Why do I feel so stuck? Well, wouldn't you feel miserable if you saw billions of tubes hooked on to all of you? Tubes upon tubes upon tubes, and that energy's feeding through. So what can you do? What you can do is this: you call upon Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael, he has a warrior angel. He's got a big, huge sword, and he can cut away all that negativity. He can cut away all those cords. Okay? Archangel Michael, come in now. Through Jesus Christ of the land, come in now and cut away all the emotional cords I have from my past and my present. Archangel Michael, cut away all my cords through Jesus Christ of the Lamb. There's no special prayer for it. He'll come in, and what you're going to do, everybody, is you're going to visualize him coming in, this big, huge warrior. He's going to cut it away, cut every one of them. He's going to snip every one of those, and they're going to detach from you, and you're going to feel lighter. Archangel Raphael, that's God's position. Archangel Raphael, come in and heal me now, and send your green light of healing unto me. Heal up every hole, and I stay in the here and the now, and I move forward. And that's all it takes. Now, here's the interesting part. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel a little confused because once Raphael comes in and starts healing, you might feel a little bit like, it's almost like a sickly kind of feeling. That's what I get. Some kind of like a sickly kind of feeling. You'll feel that because he's actually healing you. And here's the funny thing. When you do that, when you cut the cords, don't be surprised. And it's happened many times. Don't be surprised if you're walking in, you're walking in a park or something, and here comes that coworker that was talking about you. You haven't seen that person in 15 years. What do they want to do? They want to reconnect because they're not feeding off of you anymore. And pay attention, people, because when you cut the cord, see who doesn't come back into your life. See who doesn't come back into your mind. And anybody that comes back into God, nope, cut this cord with this ex-husband and keep it cut through Jesus Christ of the Lamb. Just stay in the here and the now then. Okay? I will let all of you know you're going to have clarity, you're going to sleep better, you're going to feel better, and you won't feel like you're walking through mud because your vibrations will become lighter. You'll feel lighter. You'll feel better. Okay, like I said, when I read people, I just see these cords everywhere. I see what happened to them when they were 11 years old. I see what happened to them, and I asked them about this ex-husband. Oh, well, yeah, he was an abusive alcoholic. He beat me. He did this, but I actually broke away from him, and I moved on. And then I moved on to somebody else. And I would say to the person, well, that's true, but you're bringing that emotional baggage in. He's coming in with you. Let's really cut that cord, okay? Because like I said, what happens is you get all these tubes in you, and it keeps you like it's like an anchor that keeps you to the earth. It keeps you down, keeps you into the physical, keeps you in fear, keeps you in, you don't have the clarity that you need. But listen, we have Archangel Michael, beautiful, wonderful Archangel Michael with the big, huge sword, the warrior angel. But you have to call on him. You've got to ask for it. They don't just do it. You've got to ask. So all of you today, when you get done watching this, call upon Archangel Michael, all of you, to cut away your cords, to cut away all of them, and Archangel Raphael to come in and heal you. Okay, all of you. It doesn't matter if you don't, because there's so much, it goes back. And then, of course, there's the karmic cords with people, too. All right? I know it sounds really strange and bizarre, but all of you are walking around like tubes, like these big tubes upon tubes upon tubes. And I know all of you want to be cut free. And like when I did my cord cuttings, when I did all that, for me, I was surprised to see, oh, this actor friend of mine that I hadn't seen in years. I see him walking in the mall, and he gave me a side look. Did he say hello? No. Mm-mm. But I knew I was psychically attached to him because I could feel his. He had like a mental illness though, but I'm just giving an example. I could feel um, his anguish and everything, and I got the side eye again, from that person because I want to reconnect. It's funny. You don't watch. You just call upon Archangel Michael. That's what he's there for. Okay. Right. Yeah. Connie Johnson says it can be draining. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I get so many clients, Connie, you're right. I get so many clients that are just like, Cheryl, I can't get up in the morning. I'm drained. I'm a 35-year-old, woman. I'm healthy, but I can't, cut away the cords. Oh, I feel better. I feel lighter. All right. So we got into some different kind of lesson today. Again, like I was saying to everybody, those of you that have my book, you're already in with God about getting out of the physical and the ego and not listening to that and raising up your vibrations now into the spiritual with God. And now this is the next step, cutting these cords, loving yourself, having no fears, worries, or guilt about letting go of people that no longer serve you in your life. You've got to love you first. That asking God for your spiritual partnership, and then totally surrendering, releasing everything to God, and God will bring the person to you. You don't have to sit in a bar room. You don't have to go searching for them. God will bring that person to you. Okay? And here's another thing too. You'll know it when you meet that person. It'll be an easy energy. It's not anybody you have to pursue. It's not anybody you gotta try to, put on an act for. It'll just be an easing that comes in, a peace that comes in. Okay? All right, so I know I'm going to hear it again, even when I have my readings, but I love him, but I love her. But now it's time for all of you to raise up your vibrations even more. Like I said, those of you that don't have my book, now's the time to get it. Get into the spiritual, get out of the fear and the fear-based thinking. Archangel Michael will take you up into the spiritual, and then you can work on all this now and keep raising up your vibrations because you create your own reality. And you only have a limited amount of time here on this earth. You truly do. And you're here to love yourself. You're here to do your life's purpose. And you're also here to love other people. So I hope this was helpful for all of you. Again, I love all of you. I thank all of you so very, very much. Um, let's see. Let's see. Some of the people: Jay, Michael, Kwani, like I said, Vincent. Thank you all. The Famil, the Infamal. He was here at the beginning. Thank you. And again, like I said, God loves you so much. You love you now. Cut away those cords, raise up your vibrations, get into spiritual partnerships, release those that no longer serve you in your life and love you. All right, I'll see you all next time. God bless all of you. Okay, God loves you, so do I. You love you, okay? Bye, everybody.